topic I am extremely passionate about, and it's something that I frequently do, which is checking in with myself. Check in with yourself. It's your responsibility. It's no one else's. Just make sure that you understand that not to put it off on anybody else or make it their responsibility, like I said before, to check in on you. And don't take it personal if it's a week or so goes by and no one has checked on you. Check in with your damn self. And make sure you keep in mind that everyone has their own lives, and we do get busy and we may forget to check on one another. And that's okay. Again, check on your damn self. Ask yourself how you're feeling and be honest with yourself about it. Unplug from social media often if need be. I know that I do that very often, at least once a month or for a week or so at a time, only because it can get a little redundant to stay in tune with what everybody else has going on. And also journaling, it's extremely helpful for me personally to jot down my thoughts when I feel full or when I feel like I don't want to burden my family or friends with my shit. And later on in another episode, I'll talk about how the positive effects of journaling has had on my life, in terms of just me communicating effectively and thinking through with my thoughts and things like that. Also, another thing is reading. The book that changed my life or my train of thinking completely, I'll say about a year and a half or 2 years ago, was the 4 Agreements. It shifted everything. It changed everything for me. It basically just talks about how regardless of what you're feeling, whether it's happy, sad, mad, angry, unforgiveness, or letting old things take root in your heart or in your mind or in your spirit, it's ultimately up to you. It's nobody else's fault for you to feel anything that you feel. You have to take responsibility for your own shit, sit with your emotions, and help bring healing to yourself and not put that type of responsibility on anyone else. So again, that book is called The 4 Agreements, and I definitely recommend that book. Which brings me to another topic. I'll be letting you guys in on my monthly read. So last year, I challenged myself to read a book a month. And it's easier said than done, but I've been doing pretty good with it, with my schedule and things that I have to do daily. So my book for March was called The Gift of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And it's like about mindfulness, wholehearted living, being present in the moment. So if you're into that type of thing, I recommend that one too. Okay, so just to recap, make sure your cup is full and that you don't overflow your cup with other people's shit. If your cup is empty, do whatever you have to do to make yourself feel better. Go shop, pamper yourself, write, read, or just simply don't do anything. Sit with your thoughts and your feelings, acknowledge all that you feel, and reset. It's important for you to feel mentally healthy, physically healthy, and spiritually healthy, especially with all the shit that we have to do daily. So don't forget to check in with yourself and make sure you're straight, and to not put that type of burden on other people. And as the show progresses, I'm going to be opening up my email for you guys to submit questions or advice. It'll be completely anonymous, so you won't ever have to worry about your business being put out on Front Street. You could trust me. And I also start to end each episode with a quote for you guys to ponder on, depending on the topic of the episode. And of course, today we were talking about checking in with yourself. So I found this quote: sometimes you are the toxic person. Sometimes you are the mean, negative person you're looking to push away. Sometimes the problem is you, and that doesn't make you less worthy. Keep on growing. Keep on checking yourself. Keep on motivating yourself. Mistakes are opportunities. Look at them, own them, grow from them, move on, do better, and be better. You're human, and it's okay. So yeah, to just elaborate on that, don't beat yourself up over mistakes. We're all human. I'm gonna say that about 1,000,000 fucking times on this podcast, because I need for you to understand that regardless of what you've been through or going through, that's not the end. You have to stay steadfast. You have to stay positive and optimistic. I know that that's easier said than done, but it really does start with your train of thinking. I say this a lot to my family and friends when they come to me with advice, that whatever you manifest or whatever you say out your mouth, whatever you think, whether it be good or bad, it will happen. So sometimes I know we can't stop curveballs or bad things from happening in life, because that's just life. And I get that. But at the same time, the power is in the tongue. And especially with me personally having a young toddler, I have to be very mindful of the words that I'm speaking and the thoughts that I'm speaking of, the things that I'm saying, because she picks up on everything. And I don't want to be the person that's always negative or always thinking bad. So I try to make sure that if I'm in the middle of a negative thought, I try to catch myself and say, do you really want that shit to happen? No? Okay, so think differently. And if it's something that I can change and have control over, then I have to do what I have to do and take the necessary precautionary things to try to stop that from happening. So I'm very big on my space, very big on who I let into my space. And you have to be. You can be selective. You can be choosy. You don't have to fuck with people if you don't want to. So now I'm starting to ramble, and I just want you guys to receive this message. I hope that it hits you in a way. I hope that it brings healing and awareness to you. And I look forward to speaking further with you guys about various topics, like I said in the introduction episode. And that about wraps up the show. So I will see you guys next week for episode 3 of Keeping It G with G, the podcast. Y'all stay blessed and stay safe. Ciao.